movement.
All right, so I am so excited to have you ladies here. We've got Novi and Emmy, and we met, it was almost a year ago, ladies. Can you
Mm-hmm.
believe that?
Was it a year?
I know. I looked, you watched my
Yeah.
master class in May last year.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're
Wow.
like April, so it's almost a year
Oh,
since
Wow.
we like first connected, which is wild.
nice.
I feel like it was just yesterday, but that it's
Mhm.
like time flies. But then I also feel like I've known you for years. So,
Oh, that went by so
right,
fast,
it's
Yeah.
actually.
so interesting. So, I think we'll just starting to hand it over to you. I'd love to just kind of just who you are, Novi, Emmy. I mean, you're like this beautiful sister crew going on, and just introduce yourselves, kind of who you are, where you're from, what you do, and maybe, yeah, just start there, and then we'll see where the conversation flows today.
Okay, I'll start. So I'm Emmy. I'm the older sister. I came here to Canada in 2007 from the Philippines. Started working in 2009. I stayed in St. Catharines for 2 years, moved to New Liskeard and stayed there for 7 years, and then back to London where I first did my training. So I went back here in 2019. So I'm working as a pharmacist.
Such a great story, such a great journey. And Novi, over to you.
I I came to Canada in 2015. So that's what now? 10, almost 11 years
11
ago.
years.
Yeah. And so I directly went to where she was back then in New Liskeard. And then we moved to London in 2019, just before the pandemic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pandemic. We forget about the pandemic. Good old pandemic. And I mean, I love that you guys are in London, Ontario. I do feel like you're just in my backyard, which I think was really like nice. I don't have a lot of clients from London, and I
Oh,
used to actually work in London for a period of time. I don't even know if I told you guys that when I worked
No,
at
no, you didn't.
so, yeah, I used to commute there. And I remember Monday morning, the 8:30 call, having to drive to London to, I think it was 1 Queen Street, beautiful building. But yeah, I worked down there. So I love London, Ontario. It's beautiful. And so, what I would love to know, because I know you guys were on quite a journey before you joined that master class. So, you guys are like, obviously, you've moved here, you're educated, you're smart, you're like cool sisters. I love how Emmy's always like, I'm the older sister. I think it's like she always points that out, doesn't she, Novi? It's like, I'm the older sister.
instead of
So
no.
are you like the older, wiser sister, or that's maybe
No,
gonna
so that's
come
the
out in
thing. I'm
this?
the
Like,
older one, but not the
well,
wiser one.
okay, so who started on this like real estate journey? Because you guys had already been down a path around learning about real estate. And what made you like what makes you in your core be so interested in your finances and investing? Because you guys are really on top of it. And really like passionate about learning and actually taking action. So maybe walk people through listening, what made you're living in London, you've got your careers, but now you're thinking about, okay, I want to get ahead. I want to invest my money. I want to, be really smart and wise about what I'm doing for my future currently and, down the road. So maybe walk us through where that thought process started or where that kind of journey began till you found you kind of me.
There you go.
Me?
So the
Okay.
wiser sister will tell you about it.
I attended real estate seminars back in the Philippines, so, like 20 years ago, I think. And then again, I worked in Saudi Arabia for 5 years. And then when I went back to the Philippines for, I think a little bit, like almost a year or so, I, I'm interested again in investing. So I attended like stock investing, real estate investing again. So when I came here, I really wanted to invest in real estate. And then it's funny, I was just thinking about this yesterday. Um, I remember when I first got a job, a full time job up north, I wasn't even done the probation period, which is 3 months. And I already went to the bank and I said I wanted to buy a house. Like I put money in my TFSA, like just in preparation for buying a house. So that was way back then. Like that's almost like 10 years ago. So I really wanted to do this for the longest time. But we knew that we were not staying up north, so we couldn't buy a property there. And
Right.
then shortly after, good thing we bought one here. She was hesitant back then, and I'm like, no, if you're not in, I want to buy. But the problem was I didn't have enough. Um, I moved. When we moved to London, I had to drop to part-time position. So the bank wouldn't qualify me to buy on my own. So then I'm like, but I want to buy a house now, which is a really good decision because months after that was pandemic. So if we did not buy then, it would have skyrocketed and we would have not been able to buy.
Yeah.
So that was
Right.
a really good decision. And then later on, we never knew that that would bring us to the rental properties. So yeah, and I remember too, Tracy. I joined the masterclass not just a year ago, 2 years ago. I did another masterclass, the
Ah.
Facebook Live, and I remember,
Wow.
yes, and then I remember I also had the 15-minute consultation, but it was just me. She was working, and we have to be both on board. So then, at the time, what I understood was, I have to have my own primary house, so that I can use that equity to buy the next rental property, which is right. But then I did not own it alone. Like we own it together, and she wasn't fully on board. So that was the what do you call that? The blockage, I guess.
Yeah, the
So,
hesitation or
yeah,
the gap in knowledge
yeah.
or just knowing that there maybe was another way.
So then later on, a year later, I joined again, and then I told her again, and this time she was available to join me. So then she saw the numbers and she saw that we can make it work, and yeah, so then she was on board.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it funny? I even forgot I used to do those like 15-minute calls and they're not long enough to like I can't do enough. So that's why now I do the 45 minutes. Like I need time
Oh yeah, yeah,
people out, right, and help you and like because there's not just one path, obviously. Like
yeah.
there's lots of ways to go at things and there's just more to it before you make the bigger decision to say, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, actually, Tracy, help me, go along this journey. But that's interesting. So almost like 2 years, but so good that you saved. I mean, I preach this all the time, right? Hence the spreadsheets, hence the you got to start somewhere, right? Like
Mhm.
I wish everybody would hear this, every young person, even just start saving that, first time home buyer account, just start
Mhm.
saving in your TFSA, even $20, $30. Like when you're first working, it's hard to think, oh, I'm going to save, $100 a month because everything, but it is that in the back of your head, if you just start saving over time, right? Look how fast 10 years goes by
Oh, it was
and
fast.
here we are today, and not to jump to the punchline, but you girls now own three rental properties and a primary and are saving to now move into more real estate. And you guys are so like I feel like you guys do that thing where I talk about like loving your money. I mean, you guys are just really focused. You get the long-term game. So I think it's like really, really, really cool. I guess I'm curious, like when we first started, did it feel hard or uncertain, or were you just like, I feel like you guys just jumped in with Tracy, take the reins, like help. But I mean, there's those from my perspective, it looks like you're just, all in and not afraid at all. But from where you guys were sitting, were there fears? Were there like hesitations or concerns about jumping into the real estate market?
I was thinking about this last night, and I thought the preparation was actually more than 10 years, right? So I was so ready. Like, I prepped financially, I prepped mentally, I prepped for the fears. I prepped for, oh, what if the tenant wouldn't pay? I should have, or what if there are repairs to be done? I prepped for that financially. So the problem, my fear was, I don't renovate. I don't do any fixing of any way. So I knew that that was my weakness, and having property management cleared that, because that was when we moved to London. Even after, like, just the start of pandemic, we could still have bought. But then I thought, I work full time, I do overtime, she works full time, she also does overtime. So then no one can answer the phone call if the tenants need anything at any time. So
Right.
I feel like that was my biggest hindrance. How about you?
I think that was it when we first met you. So when I finally decided that I'll join her, it was very quick actually because again, like what she said, we've been looking at houses even when we were up north. Even during the pandemic, we've been looking at the houses that are opening beside us. It was just a matter of what are we gonna do once we have it? We will be the one who will be called and who will be dealing with all the tenants. But when you discussed all the things that you have done and the structure that you have, it was like very easy. It was super easy and super quick that we were surprised we already owned
Yeah,
properties.
June was the first one.
Yeah,
Not even a month into it,
I
I
think it was
think.
a week she already got her property, and it was like, are
Yeah,
we
something
really
like
doing
that.
this
Like
now?
a
Yeah,
week.
once we start the shopping process, that's why I do all the prep, right? It's like, but once we're shopping, it can happen
Yeah,
really fast. Or some, like I've got some clients it's taking 3, 4, 5 months because product and whatever. But
yeah.
yeah, you guys was just like, but you guys made decisions. I loved it. It was great.
I think
You
what
didn't have to go through
yeah.
faking it 3 or 4 times to like not be afraid. You really listened to the process. I mean, the team is so strong. Like you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
Yeah.
It made it really easy for because you already have your team
Mm-hmm.
set up. And I think when she was telling me this when we were up north, um, I didn't have any money. I thought I didn't have any money until we talked to you and we realized, oh, we can actually refinance the property that we have. But that we didn't know there was money sitting in the property. And then, oh, I can actually use it and use it for the both of us, even not just for me. So that was easy, knowing you had the money and you found the money to use, and then
yeah.
you had the team to actually make it possible. That made it really easy.
I love that you say it's so easy because I mean that is my messaging, right? I'm trying to say it's like the simplest way, and really at the end of the day, it's like the simplest way, just hire Tracy and then I make
Mm,
it easy.
mm,
But
mm,
it's like I don't want to make it complicated, and that's kind of the root of my whole thing, right? We want to be able to work, we want to be able to travel.
mhm,
We want the properties just to operate in the
mhm,
background.
mhm.
So I love that you're using that, like saying that. That's awesome. One of the questions I would have is if other people are watching this, because I've had Tammy, I realized she also would say, "Oh, I was watching you for 2 years." So I'm now thinking there's probably other women that are watching me for 2 years. And as I get more comfortable with going live or like doing this podcasting, what would you want other women to know if they're out there considering this?
That it's so doable. Honestly, with you and your team, you're so efficient in everything. And having that, when we didn't have that, like we
Yeah,
joined
we
real
were just
estate
doing it on
groups.
our own.
Yeah, and we joined real estate groups before, but they're so big that, like, oh, they have to be hands on. I'm not hands on. That's my problem.
Yeah,
Like, I need your your structure was the best fit for us. Like, we're singles. I don't, like, I'm not hands on at all. So it was just a right fit. So I hope that women, um, especially like the single ones too, like I thought I needed someone, I needed to be married or be a couple
Yeah.
to do this, but clearly we can do this. Like singles can do this too, and I feel like that's empowering. I hope that other women could also do this
Yeah.
with you.
And they can. And I think to your point, I think this is where I get passionate about talking to women and saying, don't be afraid. There's a reality if we were trying to be a landlord, we don't have, we're a little bit too nice, right? Like we would be a little too soft, I think. I know I would be. Especially like I used an example during the pandemic, right? Like I didn't have one tenant not pay their rent, not one. And I know in my own like heart, probably if a tenant would have approached me and said, "Hey Trace, it's the pandemic. Can I like, get a discount or not pay?" I mean, I don't know. That would have been a really difficult, emotional kind of conversation. And that's where, just trying to run it like a business, I think is the key messaging. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's a man woman thing, but we are probably a little softer in some cases. And I just don't want to have to deal with that conversation. And I feel like the conversation didn't even come up. Like, well, I don't know, but I don't think it came up because of the way we structure it with the professionalism of the high-end property management companies. So I do think that is like a key thing that women, I don't know. I know that's part of the system that totally worked for me owning rentals and allows me to like travel and not be stressed. And for my clients, I hear it over and over again. I mean, you forget you almost have your rental property, right? You're not having to worry
That's
about,
the next thing I was gonna say. That sometimes I almost forget that actually we have a rental until we talk to you again. We forget a lot unless we see another property that looks like the ones we have. Then we remember. Is that the case for you? I forget.
We were on vacation. We were in Europe, and I got an email about the frozen pipe, and I'm like, oh my gosh, good thing we have a property
Yeah,
management in
yeah,
place. Like they did it. Like it's
yeah.
an emergency, right? Like they just got it done, and I'm like, I would have been so stressed. I don't know who to call, what to do, what
Yeah,
am I gonna do with the
yeah.
tenants. Like it's just such a big help.
I love that. I totally love that you just like told that story because that's the moment. And I can't really tell you this in the training or when we're talking. I can give you some examples of like when I've been to Costa Rica and I get that email and I'm like, approved to it, and I didn't even have to like think about it.
Yep.
So exactly. And until you feel that moment, it's like the property management. I don't know. It's just like I praise them every day that we have them. Like I think we're just so smart that we're having them in our on our team, right? So we're not taking it. It's not about the $150 a month, right? It's like that's such funny money when you're on that trip and you get that call. There's a few things that happened to me. One, and I'm sure this is what you were feeling. Like one, aren't you like obviously happy you didn't take that call from that tenant,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
Two, that you didn't have to figure out who the heck do you call to get it fixed,
I don't know who to call.
right? Me
Yeah.
neither. And then just coordinating all that, even like getting in there, the speed. And there you are in Europe, it all just happened. It's like, oh, great. And tenants are happy. It costs you a few dollars, which we planned for that in our money and our planning. And yeah, that's the beauty. And I can't put a dollar figure on what that value is, but I know for myself traveling, having the rentals, like I have zero stress around owning my rental properties. And I wish everyone that own rentals that's stressed would just find me too. Like, come on, there's a better
Yeah.
way to do this. So
Yeah.
that is awesome. What a great story. And I love that you guys are like forgetting you even have the rentals till I show up and say, hey, come and do a podcast with me and share your story. So I guess next on the list, like, let me see what other kind of questions I hear. I feel you've covered like hesitations. Um, yeah, you already talked kind of about the process. Let's see. Okay, let's talk about design your reality because obviously you have like your rentals. They're just like moving along. We're waiting for more equity. We're going to just keep buying better and more rental properties as you guys go on your journey. In terms of life, the part of it where I talk about what do you want your like lifestyle to be like, do you guys feel like really a calmness around having such a clear plan around your money and your time? Has that been something that you even think about now that you've got everything in place, considering a year ago you didn't even own the three rentals and you weren't totally clear on a path and a strategy? Do you feel like a clarity around traveling and your money and your future?
Yeah, so with the property that we have now, so we both have two. Um, I'm really excited for the next 3, 5 years to refinance it and buy another. And then from those properties, I want to be able to travel like you do. I want to travel every 3 months with my parents. So kind of work 2 months off 1 month and then repeat that
Yeah.
every year. And with the properties, I think eventually it will cash flow, or at least some of the refinance that I get from it, I can use it to finance my traveling on top of work. Um, because I mean, work is good, but you also don't want to wait till later when you're much older to travel. I want to travel as I get older.
Yeah, that's the balancing act, right? It's like the work back schedule, right? I was talking business terms, but how do we get to the numbers so that we have enough cash flow to enjoy the life we want to live, right? Like not wait till we're 65. I mean, you guys you're in the pharmaceutical world, so you're seeing, people getting sick. It's not all 85-year-olds, right? There's definitely people. Stress, I think, is like when I talk about my design your reality side of the business, I really feel like passionate about trying to teach people to reduce their stress. I think I think time management is the thing that's like, I don't know, hurting people. Like, are you seeing that in your pharmaceutical world? Are people stressed out? Like, what's going on out there? I feel like everyone's got like high cortisol levels, trying to like do everything under the sun and are just stressed out, not enjoying life. So do you see that in there, like from your
Yeah,
work
for
side?
sure. And I can actually compare it. And maybe it's different now in the Philippines. Um, I think I'm not sure what makes people more relaxed there than here.
The weather,
Is it the weather?
the weather will relax people.
Maybe. Or maybe because I was young then. Now I'm an adult, so I'm seeing more stress the way adults see it. I was younger probably then, that I didn't have too many things in my mind. But I definitely see that people are very like tense. Even like anywhere you go, grocery store, people are rushing. Even when you talk to friends, people have a lot of concerns too.
Yeah, do you think it's like, I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure out if it's the phones or, yeah, like when you're in the Philippines, there wouldn't have been as much probably like phones and connectivity back 20 years ago. Like
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, no phones
even
yet.
here,
Yeah.
like I was talking to a client yesterday, we were talking about it, like 100 years ago was so different than today.
Yeah.
So we've really, as humans, we're just dealing with a world that's so completely like, oh my gosh, information overload, the food, the sugar, the stress, the stress, the stress. And I come back to like those ideal week in a life worksheets like I make you guys do, but it's like how do we really simplify our life? When you talk about being able to travel 3 months, spend that quality time with your parents. I mean, that's the stuff that matters, right? So yes, we need money, yes, we need investments, but I feel that's the tool that allows us to live a calmer life. And we talked about this a lot when we were first meeting, like just even about you girls know how to cook,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you guys actually cook like less expensively. Like when I did your budget, I love doing the budget with people. I really, really, really get to know people's lifestyle. But it's like I could tell by your budget, you guys cook. Because I
Yes.
can tell you're not wasting all the money on boxed food and eating out and all of that, which I do think helps with obviously, medically lowering stress, eating better food, but also the calmness of it, right? You're using the money other people might be spending on eating out or boxed food. You guys are literally owning real estate. Like
Yeah.
literally, like with
Yeah.
that money, you're paying for your cash flow, or you're making that money go farther so that you can eventually travel more. So yeah, we got to figure out how we get more people calm down. I don't know, sleep, eating better food, relaxing, feeling in control of your money. Do you guys feel like super empowered as women that you are so in control of your money?
Again, this is I feel like as a single woman, I am just so grateful that you know how way back then women just women would be in a relationship and they couldn't get out even if they wanted to because of the financial um, stability that the man has. And now having that is empowering actually. It's not that we hate men. It's just like, oh, I'm glad like, you know, we
I know.
can be also stable on our own.
It's so true. Like that's my mission statement, right? To elevate the world one financially independent, confident, and secure woman at a time. And the root of that is exactly that. Because I watched my mom, I watched my grandmother, I watched women just historically. We didn't, I mean, I think it was only 100, not even like in the 60s, we could do a mortgage. That's wildly crazy to us, right? As independent women who are here in Canada, where we have so many rights and we have so much freedom and we have so much ability to do whatever we want with our money. It is empowering. And I think we lose sight of how grateful not that we should be grateful for it, but man, we kind of should be. Like, I'm pretty grateful for it because there's still women in this world that aren't, able, even don't even have the option to create bank accounts. There's countries where even the men or the women still can't like invest in the stock market. That always shocks me as I'm traveling and meeting people. I'm like, what? You can't open like a Wealth Simple account? You can't like even try to invest your money? That's wild. And here we are in Canada, like every young girl, I hope every young girl's listening, but probably not. Maybe you're in the car with your mom listening. But yeah, don't be afraid to save that like $2, $5, $10, because it is what long term creates that independence and that ability to be in control. I kind of probably was raised a little too extreme by my mother on that front, even though my dad is fine, like they're still married and everything, but she was not raised independent, right? She was dependent on my dad. You know, he was the breadwinner, she was the stay-at-home mom, and she drilled it into my head and my sister's head to go to school. Don't depend on a man, which is like
Oh
sounds so
no.
terrible, but I think of my personality, I think of how like headstrong I am about my career, about being financially independent, and I will say it probably comes from my mom drilling that into my head, even though when you're a kid, you don't fully like process what that means necessarily. But now as an adult, having my own money, and like even for me, right, going through a divorce, I was able to do that, split assets, give them some extra money. It didn't really matter. I was the one that had the money. So
Oh, that's
you get
amazing.
to make decisions. Like you do get to get out of, you know, make changes. You get to travel the way you want. You get to be independent, and to not be dependent on somebody else is huge. Even in relationships, I'm finding people are keeping their finances separate, right? Separate but together. Like there's like, let's share food costs. Let's share, you know, everyone each can pay for your own plane ticket if you're doing something together relatively. But it's nice to know that the money you're earning is up to you, what you invested in. And being able to make those decisions
Mhm.
is huge in terms of being an independent woman to have choice. Because I'm sure the women back in the Philippines are still tied to the men in their lives, or not being able to make a choice, right? Like just being able to say, no, actually, I can go out and buy my own apartment, or I can leave this bad situation. So, yeah, being independent, being in control of our money it really is a game changer for anybody, I guess, women or men for that matter. Everyone should be financially independent. I think do you hear that buzz? My
Yes.
computer is going to take off. Okay, so we will continue now that
Oh,
our computer fans have stopped making lots of noise in the background. So, the conversation about being financially independent and control, though, is like core to my heart. And obviously, I feel like for most women, it is like to be independent, to have our own finances under control. I still meet people that really have not done a budget, who really don't have visibility to their net worth, and are still not paying attention in couple relationships to the money, which is kind of shocking to me because I'm so in control of my money, and like I just think I love it. But think of people that aren't into it, you guys. Like you two ladies, you like your spreadsheets. Novi, you've been really paying attention to for 20 years, right? You want to figure it out. You want to be, you know, independent. You pay attention to your money. When we got on the first call, you know your budget, you know your numbers. So maybe that's another message if anyone's listening. Like, don't be afraid to actually like look at what you're spending and the
yeah.
ins and the outs of it. And I feel like it's baby steps win the race long term, and not having a fear. And then maybe it's just the confidence to know that we can be independent about our money. I don't know. What is that? Why isn't everyone feeling like they can be in control of their money? What do you
I
guys
think
think?
just like what you said, um, we grew up in different households with different ways, so we somehow can get it from our parents, and it's not taught in school, right? So, like, I don't know friends who would discuss this openly, finances. So then I feel like the biggest influence is from our parents, from home. So our parents being in a small business and them including us early on, I think impacted how I handled money. And so I feel like that's a habit from an early age.
Okay,
But
so what
this,
did your parents do? What was their business? Because that is, I think, huge. Our parents play a huge impact on how we think about money or the conversations. So where were you guys learning about business or money? Like, what did your parents do?
my mom started as a seller for someone, and then she eventually had her own small business. Like she started with veggies, I believe, and then fruits,
Cosmetics,
and then cosmetics eventually, and then
school
school
supplies.
supplies was the biggest, and then toys, and she has it up to now, and then a little bit of like farming stuff,
Yeah.
and a little bit of household stuff.
And
Like
food.
yeah, general merchandise now. So I
Okay.
saw that early on, and I saw the value of money. Like okay, she would buy whatever she was selling for, like a third or half of what she would sell it for. So I knew that okay, and then she would loan that from someone, and she has to pay that loan too, right? So then she has to make it work all the time. Like that was a continuous thing that I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
huge. You probably don't even take it into like you probably until we're talking about it right now. I feel some of those we like unless you're in it, you don't like you learned about purchasing, you learned about margin, you learned about loans, you learned about, cost of goods sold, but it's just because you were watching your mom do it, right? And buying the fruit for this and then having to sell it for that and then seeing probably waste and she'd be stressed if she didn't cover her cost. And was she having these conversations with you or were you kind of like in it, like with
I
her
was
a
in
little?
it
Yeah, you were
almost
just
all
in
the
it.
time. I will. What, how about you?
You were more involved.
Yeah,
I
I was
was,
always involved. I would be
mm,
there after school or
yeah,
even on my days off. Like I was always there. She would even go to like another,
city to buy stuff.
yeah, and I would be there at a
Yeah,
young age. I was hands on, so I knew the value of money. I knew how it was, like how to make money and how to save it. So she told me that. I remember this is a, I was like maybe 5 years old. She would give me say 5 pesos. I would, she would always tell me to save some. So I would save two. I would I would buy corn bits for two, and then one for my grandma. So I would always save. I would always spend some, save some, from a very young age.
That's
So
amazing. Like that's such a core, it's like the wealthy barbers theory. It's like so many uh Gordon Ramsay like that is like basic fundamentals, right? So you were learning them without even realizing it. Save the 20%, spend this and give some to charity. Like that's kind of it's like so basic, but it's almost like that is it. Like it's like
yeah,
that it kind of goes back to that is a good formula and it's oldie but a goodie, right? It's like simple, but yeah, it teaches you man, how do we get I think there are people teaching that understand it, right? Like you're going to teach people that I mean 17-year-old kids in our life where I'm pulling out spreadsheets and making sure they know their budget and their net worth. So but you're right, it's not taught at school. So I do think we like if you've worked in a store or and had any kind of like worked in a business, those businesses are teaching they're about the best education that we are getting about money. So I think people that are understanding money or have maybe like a bit of an interest almost go back to those first jobs or what our parents were doing and go, "Oh yeah, I guess we were learning something about business and how like because it hasn't changed. Like you got to, spend less than you make, save some of it, have the machine of money over time grow, right? It's like I use that perennials versus annuals flower analogy. Well, I feel like I use it all the time, but heck, might as well tell it now. But it's the same kind of idea, right? Like if you just throw away and buy roses every year, then you're just like the money comes in, the money goes out. The roses are like such right now we're going into spring, right? So it's like I am over the top about not wasting money on flowers because I've got this in my head now. But it's like if we buy there's actually they're like almost like a weed plant. What are they called? I'll have to figure it out. But anyways,
the ferns.
perennials. What are they called?
perennials,
Not the
perennials.
ferns, no.
No, there's one that's like I can buy it as a perennial and I can buy it as an annual. I'll
Mm.
actually make a little when I go to the store on April 10th because that's in my calendar to go shopping, or May 10th before the May 2 for, so I get the best options on my flowers. That's like in my calendar strategy. But anyways, I will check what they're called and make a little video about them. But literally I can buy the perennial version, it's $3. I can buy the annual version, it's $1. And they're the same, like weed, like they're not a weed, they're like a vine. They're like a viney kind of plant. So I love them. And I buy obviously the perennials because then they grow and they split. And that's the point, right? We can buy the $1 because it feels cheaper at the moment, and
Mhm.
but it's only going to last me one season. I'm going to throw that away. And instead of investing the $3, and now I have that plant, it grows, it expands. I can actually like give it to friends, and it only costs me $3. So the return on my investment is three of like 1 year of one of these plants. By the second year, I've got as much flower from the perennial as I would have from the annual.
Mhm.
But that's how we have to think about money, right? Like if we take our penny and we throw it away on something that's just like gets us like a short little endorphin moment versus the pennies that will grow over time, right? We get to have fields, and the money is a tool and we don't throw it away. And you obviously clearly learned that early on, and I wish everyone learned that. Like I get frustrated when people say they can't afford to save or they don't have any extra, but then I'll look at their budget and I can see the waste. And then I'll have a conversation and we'll talk about, them going out or what they're doing, their behaviors. It's like people don't even notice the money that slips through their fingers. Like they might pay attention to the stuff they're putting on the spreadsheet, but I can tell, well, let's talk about that, right? They go out for that lunch and they buy that extra side of whatever. That's $3 or $4. You add that up for a year, that's hundreds of dollars that could have been invested making 5 or 6%. So it all is like little bits over time. But I feel like we used to play board games like the Game of Life, and I think people used to play these like investment games more when we were kids, but now we're not doing those things anymore. People aren't sitting around on a Sunday night playing a board game to learn about life. I think it was called Life, right? The Life board game, and like we don't play those things anymore.
Is it similar to Monopoly?
Monopoly's another great example, right? Like totally, like that's real estate 101, like investing, taxes, the property tax man, like stay out of jail. If you stay long enough, you keep getting $200. I mean, it's such a brilliant real estate, really investment board game. Buy the singles, grow it, then you trade it in
Mm-hmm.
for multifamilies.
Yes.
That's awesome. But yeah, there's so many of those, I guess, games, and some people have more advantage if they had the parents or they played those games, or like you said, women I feel don't talk about money, whereas I think boys will talk about money more.
Mm-hmm.
And I even see it with my friends. Like I talk about money, obviously. My partner talks about money, obviously. But then we also have, I feel like we're the ones that our girlfriends end up, the only reason they're talking about money is because of us. It is not the conversations. We talk about feelings. We don't talk about investing. We don't talk about the stock market. That's not generally been a feminine conversation point to have, right? We'll talk about how are you feeling, like even with stuff going on in the world. We'll talk more about the humanitarian side of things versus the financial side of things. But I feel like women are coming along though. We're understanding it better. I mean, yeah, but that's been an issue, right? To talk about the money. And then not just talk about the fluff of the money, which is, I think you said earlier today, there's so much like high level information out there, like theoretical, but you got to get into the weeds. You actually got to do the doing and actually save the money, actually buy the real estate,
Mm-hmm.
right? Actually navigate through it long term so you can get to where you've got the assets. But yeah, your spreadsheets look like incredibly good over the next 5 years, 10 years. And you guys know that it's like the long term strategies of investing, right? You got to be able to weather the ups and the downs and the storms. But I don't know, historically, like there's never a bad time to buy. I'm sure you look back 10 years ago, oh, we should have maybe bought something up north, or
Mm-hmm.
we should have, would have, should have, could, like always. I don't think ever there's a time where anyone I talk to says they shouldn't have bought the real estate. Because even though right now it feels kind of flat and a weird little time in real estate, in 10 years we'll look back and go, oh man, wow,
Yeah,
like I can't believe we got the houses for X. Even
exactly.
though we'll forget about the interest rates because we get to write it all off anyways. So it's just time value of money. But being independent and in control, you guys are like totally. I mean, I wish you guys could just inspire everybody. We should do workshops and show everyone, like, make sure they're actually saving the money. But I feel, do you guys talk to your coworkers now a little bit more about money? Are girls talking about it or not really?
We do, and then I realized how extreme I could be, actually, with saving. Because I remember when I was in Saudi Arabia, Tracy, I saved 100% of my income. And then I realized no one did that. Like I was that extreme. And because
Because you
three
were given an
we were given
allowance.
allowance, food allowance, which was 300 riyals back then, which was more than enough for a month. Like I couldn't not even spend that for my food. So then like what am I gonna do? And I go back to my childhood training where save some. I did not increase my lifestyle with my increase in salary, which I
Yeah.
think is also tricky because coming from a third world country, of course, now you're exposed to like, oh, the fast food, the availability of like luxury stuff, the phones, the shoes, the bags, the bigger house. And I did not up my spending as my salary went up higher. So that could also be a challenge. And then when I talk to people at work, I realize that they do the opposite.
Most
And
people
it's
do.
not easy to do that here because of the
So easy.
availability of everything.
It's so easy. And now there's Amazon and we're
Mhm.
such a consumer market. And there's a weird thing that I'm finding with people. It's almost like you feel, which almost is maybe the language you just used, like you almost feel like it's strange, or you almost feel bad. Like, why am I not wanting more? But
Mhm.
actually, anyone that I know that is wealthy, actually, and I even my financial advisors have like confirmed this for me. Um, Most people that are actually wealthy are frugal as all get out.
Yay!
Yeah. I
Really
need
are.
to start getting frugal.
Actually, wealthy people, they don't waste money. It's kind of back to that annual perennial. Like, as you start to get on to the train of saving and investing, I think it's what happens because we do appreciate the dollar. We're not throwing it away. We don't have a fear of it. There is real like science around women. There's this repelling thing that happens with money with a lot of women. And it's because we like if you gave 10 women a $50 bill. I did this exercise at one of the trainings I went to, and $50 went to everyone in the room. There's like 40 of us. And the question was, what would you do with the $50? Almost like 70% of the room gave the money away. And on the table, they even hid it like they were putting it under their phone. It was like such a weird behavioral thing. Like people were like hiding the $50 like under their book, or it's like they felt bad about having the $50. Meanwhile, it was fake and we all were had it. But then the ones like, I'm so open about money, I'm like, yeah, there's my $50. What am I going to do with this? That's my natural kind of behavior around money because I'm a person that's like doesn't feel bad about having the $50. How can I maximize this
Mhm.
$50? So what she was showing us though is females generally feel guilty about having money. So our natural instinct is like kind of to like give it away and repel it because we've been told like money's bad, money's evil, the rich people are bad. Like it's a real like weird thing that goes on, and it's even in like if you watch a Disney movie, oh my God, the stories that girls are being told about money in those movies makes me like, oh, wow, there it is. Because now I know about it. I'm like, oh, there it is again. It's like Scrooge, the bunny guy, is the bad guy. And then the like person that's so sweet and lovely is giving everything away. It's like, oh, no wonder us girls feel bad about having money. So I try to switch the language and say, no, money is good, right? We're not evil, bad people because we have money. We can like grow that money, love that money, and we can do more with that money. We can give back more in this world. We can put great rental properties on the market, like for lovely people. Look at that concept, right? You're going to be able to give more to charity. You're going to be able to help people back in the Philippines. You're like, as your money grows and that tool grows, it's actually a very good thing. But once you get that in your head, it's really hard to throw away the money.
Yeah.
So that's why wealthy people don't throw away the money. They don't just get their egos like, oh, I'm going to have a bigger car. You're like, no, I want to pay for that car. I don't want any expenses that don't make me money. I don't want to throw away any of those annual flowers that just end up getting composted. That didn't do anything. The dollar came in and I wasted it. That will drives wealthy people crazy when they waste their money. That's why my Uncle Don, I think he's going to do the podcast with me. I'm super excited.
Oh, that's exciting.
He's so funny. Like, he's like, has all his properties. He's 80. He's like, the wealthiest guy kind of I know, and happiest guy I know. And I sent him, a picture to buy. I'm looking at my monitor because I'm like, Uncle Don, he really won't spend his money. Like, it's like just a game for him at this point. It's been like that for years. But he's just so happy. It's not about like having another thing. It actually drives him crazy to have stuff. He is so like the extreme with it. So I tell him, go and spend $400 on a nice big monitor because he likes to game. That's his thing. So I called him the other week and I'm like, so did you buy the monitor? He's like, no, but look what I did. So he sold one of his rentals because as he's 80 now, he is trying to dispose of some rentals. And he's like, but I took the TV. He took the TV from the rental. The tenant, unfortunately, had to go to an old age home. And, but he's like, look, I got my bigger monitor. He got a free TV that was bigger. I'm like, Uncle Don, like he can spend $300, $400 on the monitor. But that's how, honestly, that's going to be you. That's me. I say to my friends, I have like the habit of over investing. Like if I have extra money in my account, I tend to invest more in the markets. Like or pay down my rentals fast. Like I'm just like, well, I'll increase that payment. Oh, I got extra cash flow there. I'm going to put more into my, TFSA, or I'm going to put more into crypto. Like I'm like always, I have a hard time. I would have a very hard time tomorrow going and spending $400 on a purse. Even though probably if I spent $400 on a purse, that's even an investment because it would probably be a good brand name. But let's say for theory purposes, it's not. Maybe shoes are a better example. I would not go spend $200 on a pair of shoes, but I in a heartbeat can put $200 more into my stock market, like stock portfolio. Like nothing. Like spending $200 on an investment, it's like I'll spend money like that, like nothing. Thousands, always. But I'll be like, oh, I can't buy it. Like, look at my cell phone case. It's terrible. I should buy a new cell phone case. Considering I have a business, I can write it off. I really should buy but I'll have a harder time spending the $60 on this than going and buying a bit more Bitcoin or paying down my rental property. Same. But it's a good problem to have. It's why we have money. It's why we have good net worth. It's why we have independence. It's why we're able to get out there and try to tell women that it doesn't need to be scary. Like, just come to Tracy, talk to me, do a spreadsheet. Like, don't be afraid. We can talk about money. We're not bad people. We actually are going to be able to take care of ourselves in retirement. We're not going to be dependent on the government so much. Like, this is a good thing. This is a very, very positive thing in life. So I think it's, that's definitely my messaging. It is, you girls are so doing it. You're amazing. You're an inspiration. And I don't know, is there anything else, any other stories or anything else you kind of like would like to leave today with? You guys have just a great story. You've got your poop together. I love that you're over investing. Now, what about the older sister? Are you as fanatical about saving? You have a nice leather jacket
I'm
going on
spending
there.
more than her. So I'm the one who wants to be so rich that I could bring my parents to anywhere I want, anytime. So because what's hard now is yes, we're living a better life here, I think, because there's too many available things for convenience here as compared to if we stayed in the Philippines. But at the same time, the trade-off there is you don't see your parents as much, right? Um,
Right.
and if you're there, you see them more often, but you have less money to spend. So now what I want to do is with the rental property and with the investments and the refinance that's coming out of it every 3 or 5 years, I hope that I can invest that more so that I have more money available that I can just, if I want to go to another country with them next month, I can go anytime.
Right.
So that's my goal.
Yes.
So she doesn't want to spend, but I want to spend my money on my parents because growing up, they just worked. We didn't go on vacations. Rarely.
Never, maybe.
Ne-
We went on,
Almost
we
never.
never did.
Almost
We
never.
never did, but I would always go to our cousins like 6 hours away to
Yeah.
spend a month.
But that's
That was
it.
my vacation.
We didn't go
Yeah,
to a
it
beach.
was
We don't go, and we didn't go anywhere else. My mom's store was only closed on Good Friday. It's open the rest
Wow.
of the year.
Yeah. And how old are they now?
65 and
So
70.
young. Yeah, you guys are so young,
And
and your
they're
parents
very active still. So I'm hoping that, I can earn as much money as I can to be able to do the things that they
to
have
be
been
able to
able
do
to
the
do
things. And
before.
flights are getting so expensive, like even to go back to the Philippines. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
that being able to go away for longer, like you're saying, like to be able to like work and then take 3 months off. I mean, you guys watch me, and that's where we're getting to,
Mhm.
where we are able, because it's cheaper. We save money by one flight and then stay in the place longer. And with the
Mhm.
internet, I mean, you guys don't have really work remote jobs. That's probably
Mhm.
the challenge.
Mhm.
Um, but getting to that vision, maybe, who knows? Like things are changing all the time, how work is done,
Mhm.
right? Maybe we can maybe could you do your pharmaceutical work remotely ever? Like, is that a thing?
You can, yeah.
There is.
Oh,
You can.
great. Okay. And definitely, I would imagine as things go, nursing will become more
I don't
like
know.
remote.
I wonder what would that be
Maybe
like,
teaching for you.
Yeah, maybe teaching.
or like insurance, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Transferable skills.
Mhm.
That's why I always say, like, it's the lifestyle first. Like, how do you want your life to look?
Mhm.
And then I feel like we can fit in the careers, like, because we do have these advantages of working remotely. Like, whether I'm sitting here doing this, or you're sitting in the Philippines, or I'm in Croatia, or I'm at the top of a mountain, like, this world for me is so remote and online
Mhm.
that I can be anywhere. So then it becomes the cost, right? So
Mhm.
going away for the 3 months makes a big difference if you can get there for your parents, or they could come here,
Mhm.
right? If they
Mhm.
could come here for 6 months, well, that's one flight, and then
Mhm.
hopefully they would enjoy their time here. You got to get out to Lake Huron. What would you do with them? What do you do with them when they come here? Have they been here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been here a
Okay.
couple of times, but now we just came back from British Columbia and Alberta, and it's so beautiful. With,
So beautiful.
I'd like them to see that place.
She's always like
Yes.
that. Whenever we go anywhere, so
Mm.
we were in Europe, and she's like, "Oh, parents have to see this. Parents
Mm.
have to see this." And we wouldn't be here if it's not because of
Yeah,
them.
because they work so
Their
hard.
their hard work. So
Yeah, I love that.
yeah.
But my mom, whenever we go out though, like we were in the States, we were at a Walmart, I think. She saw a stand of batteries and she was like, I have a hard time getting this in the Philippines. We should buy it. I'll sell it. Or we would go, we
I
would,
love her entrepreneurial way.
Oh,
She
we were,
sees stuff going, I can sell that. I can sell
yes,
that. There's
yes,
no margin in that.
we
yeah,
would go to the dollar
yes,
store and be like, I like this shelf. Take a picture because I'll get it done when I get
yes.
home.
That's always her.
She's just so you guys have definitely got that from your mom, and I think it's
Yeah.
great that you wanna if your motivation is to travel them and to have them enjoy their life. I think I mean, it's awesome, but I also think it's that little bit of we need a reason that doesn't feel icky around money,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's I feel good about saving my money. I feel good about investing my money because I'm doing something good. And if that's what it takes for us girls to feel good about saving money, making money, like having a good purpose for it, then that is excellent. Let's all do that. Let's find our reason that we want to be financially smart and independent and make the money and dream of where you take your parents. Trying to think like traveling in Canada is kind of expensive. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, right?
Is
Like it
really
is so
right.
expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is.
Renting a car, like we'll do the car camping thing, which your mother is not going to be doing that. Although she sounds pretty cool. She might actually be into sleeping in a car, but there's
We can
yeah, it's kind
definitely
of
try.
expensive to travel here, right? It is expensive to travel here, and we find it less expensive to travel other places, although it does seem like everywhere is getting expensive with inflation and our
Mhm.
dollar and all of those things. So my uncle would say it's just the dollars are getting smaller. You've just got to keep making more of them. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
having real estate, having money in the markets, like that's it. Like those are our options here in Canada, really, other than having our own business and then working the job to feed the machine is the old rich dad, poor dad strategy. So you guys are like so on the right path. It's inspiring. I can't wait to hear where you take your mom next. Where are you guys in Europe exactly?
We did the 7 night cruise. The From Spain, from Barcelona to Genoa, Italy, and then France, and then
In
Marseille,
Rome, yeah.
and then Rome,
Florence.
Florence, Valencia, Spain,
I think we did
and then
Wow.
back to
Valencia too.
Barcelona.
How awesome, right?
We would
Yeah.
want to see that for sure.
Yeah, my dad
Yeah.
would be so amazed to see. So for my
Mhm.
dad, it would be different. So if my mom is think about business, my dad would be looking at those history that's posted on the
Yeah.
streets.
Okay, so he's a history guy. What did he do? What was his influence on you ladies?
He worked in a bus company, but he also introduced my mom to starting a bigger business
Oh,
because
that's
when he
right.
was
Yeah,
traveling from the main city to our province, a lot of the things in the main city are not easily available in the province. So he brought
that's
that.
right. Yes,
So
yeah.
that's how the business got bigger when he brought the
Yeah, when we were
new.
kids, he would fill up the trunk of the bus with boxes of toys that he would buy from the city, and we would be the first ones having them in the province.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So your parents really worked together
Mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm,
build and support. And your dad obviously really supported your mom. So
mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
that's probably where you ladies get your independence.
Yeah, we would come home and we would get big bulk containers of products and we would put them in smaller containers to sell for.
That's
Mhm.
That
amazing.
was our nightly routine.
Yeah, every
Was
night
not to watch something, or if we would watch
we would be doing
TV,
something with our hands.
we were working. We
Yeah,
were working, right?
child labor, Tracy, child labor.
Child labor. Oh my gosh, I love it.
We were trained that way, which was awesome, right? Like my
Mhm.
mom would not waste time. Like she wouldn't watch TV and sit down. She cannot do that even up to now. Like she would be, again, like repacking bigger
Yeah.
stuff into smaller
Hmm. Hmm.
sellable
Yeah.
items
Hmm.
while watching TV.
Yeah.
So yeah,
She wouldn't sit and just watch. She couldn't.
yeah.
Well, this is now making a lot of sense why you girls are so motivated. You work so like strategically and hard and smart, and you're very like ones and zeros about what you're doing, but you're both so kind-hearted. So you guys have come from like lovely parents that work hard and taught you about being entrepreneurs.
What
Mhm.
would have just been better, Tracy, if we met you sooner?
Yeah, that would have been
That would have been much,
a
much better.
game
Yeah,
changer for
yeah.
sure.
If we met you when we were up north, we would have like
But when
maybe.
did you start though?
I literally
Yeah.
started like my first starting was 2019, but I didn't even really realize how well I ran my own rentals to make that into a thing to teach other people.
Is that when you
So
start teaching
2019.
yeah,
them?
so Design Your Reality I started, which was more like the money and the budget and the wealth and like time management and like even just awareness around money. And it was in 2022 that I hired a coach out of Australia and I was trying to figure out how to do this online thing. And he's like, so why are you always doing, like, why are you doing Design Your Reality? And I was getting frustrated, but I know he was trying to get me to figure out what would people click on. And then I realized, I said, well, I guess I'm always doing the budgets and the net worth, trying to show people they can buy a rental property. Like, and it always had that rental property line always on my spreadsheets. So I didn't even really realize that I was doing that. And then that was what changed everything, because I'm like, that is actually what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to tell people. It's like, oh, come into Tracy Land. I'm going to make you like think about what you want to visualize, how you want to live your life. Let's talk about the wanting to travel for 3 months, and let's talk about how you want to live your ideal life. And now let me show you how the money's going to work around that. And oh, by the way, quietly, like, oh, look, if you actually use your equity or save some money, you can buy a rental and actually get wealthy. And then you get to live the life you want to live. It was like a big, like, aha moment. And I'm like, okay, well, how do I run my rentals? Like, oh, look at that. I really run them by tools, the spreadsheets. Like, I've been doing this for myself. It's a system, and other people aren't doing it this way. So then I basically started really building the business in 2022. So I wouldn't have been around back then. I was still doing corporate
Okay. So,
telecom management. Yeah, like I was still just running my stressful corporate life in telecommunications, babysitting a lot of people. That's what I feel like all I did. But yeah, yeah, night and
It was just
day. But
perfect timing.
I'm
it
here
was the right
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah. We were
now. Yeah.
we were prepared, and
We were ready.
yeah,
So
we were
I
ready.
think really just the one concern for us was we didn't want to deal with tenants.
Oh, that was the biggest hindrance.
Yeah,
for
there were
sure.
many instances where we're about to buy already, and who would deal with the tenants?
Yeah.
Who would take the call? Who would figure out who to
And
call?
then when we
Who would even
learned,
like find the tenants? Like that's the other thing. I think like
yeah,
going
and
through
screening
that
the tenants
process, right?
too.
In the course when I do my emotional journey video, did you guys actually watch it?
We did actually.
I think I really try to get everyone to watch that one because I think
But we watch it after we bought the property.
We already bought one, and then we're like,
watch the video.
Let us watch the videos.
Because it's funny how it's so true, right? Like there's this like moments in the process, as simple as I can make it, everyone goes through the emotional fear of like, am I going to get a tenant? And I just went through it with O'Shea, who you guys have maybe seen on the monthly group or in the community, but it's like just so happens because you get a month will go by where you don't have the tenant yet, which I set the expectation of 2 months, right? But I mean, I like it's usually better than that, but sometimes it is like it's this balancing act with the property management and the time of year and blah blah blah, all the things they're dealing with it. But you at home are like, okay, you're patiently because I'm telling you, just wait. You'll get the email. It'll be fine. We'll manage our way through it. So that's fine. But imagine if you didn't have the property manager. Imagine if those applications were coming in to your inbox from Facebook or Kijiji. Like, how do you really, like, you can say theoretically all we want that we would follow this process, do the credit checks, make those phone calls. And how would you do it? You guys are so busy.
yeah.
And then how do you, like, I watch it with property management because Kathy and Adams, their triplex, we had a basement unit and there was a lot of applications. And I'm like, how do you not pull the trigger to just accept one? I think we would. I think as a human, we would. Except for they're like, nope, nope, nope. Yeah, our pain is, okay, maybe we had to wait an extra 2 weeks, or maybe we even had to go another month without a tenant. But going 1 month without a tenant and making sure we have that right tenant that can actually pay the bills and isn't going to be a bad tenant is so invaluable. And I just think even that moment would be so stressful.
Yes.
Like to do that on our own,
I agree.
let alone taking the call from the tenant. I don't even think getting the tenant, I feel like getting the tenant itself would be a stressful, horrible part of the process.
Yes,
So
I agree.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard coworkers who would say the same thing. I've heard them say, "I want to get rid of my rental properties." Like, I'm like, why?
Send them to me. Send them to me. I help so many people now that
Yes.
have existing rentals. Can you imagine if you had your rentals, you were self-managing, feeling stressed out. You come to me, Brian, and he gave me a beautiful testimonial. He was my last client that owned 3 rentals. And another client, Crystal Lee, sent him to me. So that was cool, referral. And I'm like, Brian, like, let's just put it all together. So imagine coming in with your rentals, putting them into my spreadsheets, right? Building out that 30-year vision and then saying, and oh, by the way, you can get property management. Well, he now has property management and he can't even believe it. He's not selling his properties now. We are able to annually, we just got together for another 2 hour session, and he's like, okay, should I like lock in my rate? Should I move this? We're like moving it, changing his one property to get more tenants because now he has property management that will actually manage a student rental. He's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yes. So it's like, I love helping people because actually, as much as helping new people, for you guys, I've just made it so easy, right? You're like, well, that was so easy. Great. This is a fantastic process. But for those people out there, trust me, most people aren't doing it like we're doing it. They're really complicating it. They're making their bookkeeping a nightmare. They're dealing with the tenants. They feel guilty because they're a small landlord. They actually really feel like they're not big enough to have a full team and manage it like a big shooter. Like they're just
Not,
not able
no.
to do it. So yeah, I help a lot of people. Send them, like seriously,
Yeah.
send them to me.
The
Like
good thing about your team too is,
don't sell your rental properties. Like don't sell your rentals. Like, oh,
yeah, no. As I was saying, the good thing about your team too, Tracy, is you've already tried them. So before we got on board, you've already tested those people. So we didn't have to test them ourselves. So you already know that they do a good job, and then
Efficient.
we just benefited from it too.
Yes.
And it's
yeah.
not much to pay them. The amount of the benefit that you get from the property management, it's not much, and you put it in your taxes too.
Yeah, you get to write it off.
You get right.
No, it's really like in corporate, as even as a salesperson, we knew how to delegate or we knew how to be efficient, right? You would know that in your pharmaceutical business. Like you know how to delegate to your employees. Your value is in what you're doing. And as, when I was a COO, like I couldn't do everything. I had to depend on my team, right? I had to empower my managers and all the employees like to do all the work. Obviously, I'm just there to like kind of orchestrate and make sure the high level money and everything is operating efficiently. And it's the same thing. So I realized that's probably the key thing I realized is that I ran my rentals like that, like always. Like I just figured out how to do that because of my business, the way I ran business. And now I'm teaching you how to do that. You really are delegating everything out like you're a big CEO. You're not doing any of the work.
You're the
But
CEO.
most people,
Congratulations.
yeah, you are like,
I love it.
literally. But again, if you haven't run a company or you're not good at, or you don't know to delegate everything, and in this real estate world, I mean, you guys took the other programs and you were part of the other groups. It's not what they're being taught, right? They're being taught high level theory, and then really they're being taught don't own the stuff yourself. It's too scary because they're really just trying to get everybody's money to do joint venture. Like it's such a little weird world out there, and I really am doing it differently, and I'm doing very boutique, and I'm really just trying to help people. And yeah, if people find me, like I'm still a little bit out there on social media, so I'm still getting to kind of strangers that didn't know me, but I think that's gonna unfortunately I mean, I'll still do a little bit of that, but I think as I get more referrals, like I'm not trying to take over the world, right? With this, I'm trying to find 15 people now, kind of a year to help and love it and get to know everybody. And I don't know, maybe it can become a bigger machine because the system works so well. And who knows, maybe with AI, I can get it out there, sell my course, maybe have some people under me. I don't know. We'll see where the vision of Tracy Land goes,
amazing.
but I'm always so mindful to keep in the life balance. I don't want stress, right? I just want things to flow. Like today, I got my, oh my God, like I love. Do you guys love when you get your deposit now?
We
I
are
text
what are
her.
15?
I'm
3
like-
days.
Right? Do you not love when they just they're like, I didn't collect the rent, I didn't pay any of the bills. It just shows up in the account. And then it's like, it just happens. So yeah, I just had my fourplex in New Brunswick deposit, and I'm like, oh, it's like so beautiful. It deposited $4,600 this month. I'm like,
Wow.
that just motivated me. I'm like, yep, increasing the payments, getting that sucker pay, like just that one property for me. If I just pay it off, I am good. Like
Wow.
it's so nuts. I know my numbers so well, and I'm like, then I got my win. I like, my math is so like in here because of my spreadsheets, like, and we just did taxes, right? So I got everything updated in my world for myself, and I'm like, oh, that's so beautiful. Like, $4,600 deposited. Like,
I
Yes,
know.
yeah.
gorgeous is that, right?
Mhm.
And I know I still have one tenant who I've been like whatever, she pays 850 a month. She was there when I bought it. But when she moves, I'm gonna probably have to spend, I figure in my head I'm like 20 grand, but maybe it'll be like 15 grand. Like she's been there forever. I'm gonna definitely renovate. And well, I'm gonna definitely renovate. Ladies, what does that really mean? Yes, not I. Someone will renovate, and I will pay the bill happily. And then my rent on that one unit is going to go up, oh, like probably about 1,000 more dollars.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I'm just like, oh, like the the slow and steady and over time and
Mhm.
having the separate banking, like all the little bits every year, I love it. Every year you're gonna see like more and more like, ah, that's why Tracy had me do it like that, or that's why Tracy had
Mm,
me do it like that.
I
Mhm.
love it.
Because it just becomes like, I don't know, tax time becomes like a really exciting time of year because it's really the one time a year you're gonna go, all right, what's the story that happened with my three houses and where are we at?
Mhm.
Okay, now how do I adjust for next year and keep the plan and the vision going and getting to a bigger and more real estate? I'm there with you, ladies. We're gonna, as soon as we can, we're gonna like leverage and get to the multifamily land. You guys are ready as soon as we just need the market to pop a little bit, which it will. Like, might not be tomorrow, but it will.
Mm-hmm.
It
Like you
will.
can,
It
Yeah.
will.
right? We know things aren't being built right now. We know that like all the product that's hit the market is going to go away and new developers are not really developing because the money's not there on the raising of the capital, right?
Mhm.
So we're in a good space. We own great real estate. I love my Windsor stuff still. Like my little my little houses are my happiest houses. Like
Mhm.
those deposits come in, it's just like ding, ding, ding. And
I,
my mortgages now are so low on them. I'm like, ah, yeah, but it's this balance, right? Like, you don't want to make too much money from them. It's like, ah. So, anyways, but that's why the spreadsheets are awesome. I love that you guys are following the system. I don't know. You're in Tracy land. I guess we want to help more people, but yeah, people gotta find me. I don't know. We'll see where the business goes. I kind of really want to be pretty retired at 55. Like only referrals, only like your friends, only people that maybe like come to me. But yeah, I just like I love it. I don't want to be too busy,
Yeah.
that's a good problem to have.
right? Like but we want the message out there. Like I want everyone to follow my system.
Mhm.
So yeah. Hmm. Well, maybe that'll be part of the future as we grow it. It's getting the message out with the podcast. Like, just come to me, and if it's easier, and I'm just the one like with the team, I can see how I can grow it and help more people. We just want it to flow, right? It doesn't need to be hard. I think that's the biggest message. I have a system. It works. Follow what Tracy says, and
Yes, yes,
your life will be easy and you will have good investments.
yes.
And
Mhm.
yeah, I know, I know.
I agree.
Well, you guys took the chance. Didn't realize you were following for 2 years, so that's so funny. Tammy was the same way. So all the people that are out there who've been following for 2 years, just set up your yard.
Mm-hmm.
Still leave
Okay.
47
Yeah.
all over
And I
the
think
Philippines and show up.
one more thing is to be like, at least for me, to be open minded, because again, like, 2 years ago she already told me she found you on Facebook, and I was like, you found somebody on Facebook? And I was like,
Is that what you
how?
said?
In my head I was like,
Ah, okay.
how are we gonna trust somebody random on Facebook? If I was
Oh.
just open minded, then like, at least even if you doubt about something, I haven't even seen you. She just told me I found somebody on Facebook about real estate. I was like, you're gonna trust somebody from Facebook? Going forward, I think we met with many things. I should be like, okay, let's see it, and maybe it's something good, and I can decide it from there. I haven't even seen it. I've already judged if whether it's good or not. I already judged it wasn't good. So be open minded, see what's available, and then you decide from there. Give it at least a chance.
Yeah, give it a chance. That's what I say. Like, don't be afraid. Like, I'm such a real person. Just come to me. But I think that's the challenge. I think it's my benefit going forward, right? Like with all the AI and all the automation stuff, I still want to be real. Like I'm
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
And so
on
as soon as we talked to you the second time, I felt like, shoot, what have I've missed this for a year or for 2 years.
I
Um,
think I was convinced because I saw her. I watched
yeah, and I haven't even seen her.
the
Yeah.
Facebook live. I
Yeah.
watched
Yeah.
it. I had questions, and then I talked to you for more than 15 minutes. So I had that experience, and you didn't.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why we try to like book our appointments together, so that I don't have to relay it to her. Like we're
yeah.
on board together.
Because you can sense it for someone's sincerity. Because we also attended a seminar, or was it just me? Like what you were describing, like a dinner or supper, lunch, and then at the end of it, they'll be like, "Okay, give us your money, and then we will invest it." And I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah,
That was like a big thing 3, 4 years ago, and it's
yeah,
actually what drove me crazy in the space. I even will complain about it on a master class when I go off on a tangent, but it's like I saw it so much, like because I took the courses too, right? And it's
hmm
like, oh, that's what's going on. It's like a gaslighting to make people
yeah,
afraid to own their own real estate so they can get your money, and it's like
yeah.
people should own their own real estate. I actually met one of the instructors from one of the big programs, like literally here in Kitchener at the Bar Public. It's a restaurant. Anyways, he's a mortgage broker now, and we were talking about kind of like because he was one of the guys in front of the stage, like delivering the programs. And then I was asking him, of course, about, well, so what do you own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Classic. They don't actually own anything themselves.
Oh.
And then I explain what I'm doing, which I get a little like punchy in those like social conversations. 'Cause I'm like, oh, here we go again, big development. Give me your, like, I just know the talk track and I know the money and I know the game and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, well, we own, like, between me and Renata, we own 12 rentals. Like,
Wow.
slow and steady wins the race. It's nothing like hugely except, but we're not over leveraged. We own our own stuff and no one's selling us to sell it, right? We can make our own decisions. And he goes, oh, so you're a real investor.
Whoa.
I was like, cha-ching. He
Wow,
actually
Yeah.
is.
you're really
But if I would have had that conversation with that same person 3 years ago when all the hype was going on, he would have been like actually probably very much about trying because there's such a brainwash about getting people's money
Yeah.
and raising money, getting other people's money. Like
Yeah,
it's such a thing. And yeah, but then guess what? That stuff has gone sideways. People have had to sell. Like they don't end up owning the real estate long term, which is the dilemma, right? Like, yeah, you can make 20 grand or you make 30 grand or even you maybe make 100 grand. But if you don't own the real estate in 20 years,
Yeah.
you just made some income. Like who cares? It's about the asset at the end of the day. So that was a big like kudo moment. I'm like, yeah, he's like, okay, yeah, I gotta learn more
wow.
about what you're doing. He's like, it's so different. I'm like, I know it's different. I absolutely know what I'm doing is different, but I'm super small, super petite, not trying to take over the world, right? I'm not trying to be a celebrity. I'm trying to help women and nice couples own their own real estate so that long term we can enjoy our life, travel, do the things we want to do, take care of our parents. I don't know, do whatever. Like we have control. We're in control. What is it? Financial independence.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I
And
love it. Well,
add, Tracy, too, that your team, because you already worked with them before, they're just so efficient, right? Like from the realtor, and then the mortgage broker, the lawyer, the insurance, everyone, it's just so efficient. Like it really made it so easy,
It's almost
honestly.
unreal. We were like, is this really happening?
Okay, so when Nancy, the realtor, got the listing, right, and then I was signing and I would transfer the money, she called me because she wanted to introduce herself before I sent the money and everything, right? Because like we never met,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's all
Yeah.
online,
Yeah.
and that was so nice of her because I'm like, yeah, I'm already willing to do the business. Like I googled her and I saw her name and that where she like real where she had the Remax and
yeah.
yeah, I was willing to do the transaction.
Sometimes I don't think my team realizes how much I explain who they are and what they're doing, and like you're kind of like learning. You know them more than they realize that you know them or who they.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like another part of the way that I'm doing with that WhatsApp group is also so efficient,
Yes.
right? Like, can you
Yes.
imagine if we were trying to do meetings every time, or like the telephone game between
Mm-hmm.
you and Emmy? Like, if you're trying to relay information,
Mm-hmm.
it would be confusing.
Yes.
So I feel like that was like a smart thing I did in terms of how to make sure we're all saying the same thing, everybody knows what everyone's talking about, and like there's no telephone game in terms of like communication. But yeah, honestly, I think everyone on my teams loves the process. It's
Yes.
so efficient. It's like I don't waste their time, right? I'm really careful to not, because sometimes I have clients who will be looking. Like I've got two clients right now. We're looking in multiple places. Like I've got multiple realtors watching for real estate, but I'm very careful with my realtors, right, to make sure they all know that. So I'm not burning, like I have to make sure I don't burn any bridges. So
Okay.
I'm kind of managing the teams over here, like I don't know, it's like kind of interesting when I've got multiple people involved, because I never want my realtors to feel like I'm wasting their time,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at the same time, I need them to do the work so I get you guys to trust them. So like I'll have Nancy, I mean at this point we've got such a machine, and like she knows what my system is, obviously. She knows what I want to buy in a house, right? She knows what I'm looking for. Like we've got a same thing with my team out east. Like it is at this point a really well-oiled machine, and I'm very careful not to waste their time, be really appreciative and respectful. And I only honestly work with nice clients. Like truly, like that is part of that appreciation talk I have. That's true. And you can see from my testimonials, like every client I have are lovely people. Because I won't take on people that are going to be like difficult, not just for me, but imagine if I have difficult clients for my partners, like my team members. Like, because they all bend over backwards for my clients. Like, literally, my mortgage broker, right? I could call him on a Sunday night and be
Yes.
like, hey, we
Mm.
saw this house yesterday. Can you quickly update us on this or that? Can you jump in the WhatsApp? And boom, he answers the call. He's there. The lawyer, Victor, right? Like he's
Yeah.
doing most of my deals right now. And he's like, he'll message like it's just such a I don't know, I'm careful to make sure that the team is really appreciated, but also that I only have clients that are really appreciating the team. So
Mm-hmm.
it all works. Like they'll all say my clients are all so nice. I'm like, well, yeah, I got nice clients, I got nice team members. I don't want to be stressed. We want to have, I don't know, I've designed my own bloody business. I've designed my life. I talk the talk, and I'm really walking the walk, and I'm really loving this business. Like my vision in 5 years is literally people, all my existing clients, set up your 2 hours for $250. And literally, I'm just checking your taxes, updating your net worth, seeing where your numbers are at, figuring out how we grow your wealth, making sure you're on the plan, right? You're not losing sight of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And I just want to be doing that. Like that's it. And maybe a referral because somebody still wants to like tell their friend to hire me to do the process to buy the property. But that is my vision with this business, and it's working, and because I'm so clear about it,
Yes.
right? Because I'm so clear about it. Like everyone's nice. I love my clients. You guys are amazing. Like all the time. So
Yes.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for, I don't know, seeing me on Facebook. That's the weird thing about the Facebook, because really most of my clients have come from the
Oh
Facebook.
Yeah, and
yeah.
you never know who you're gonna reach
Yeah, and then I meet
when.
these like I just signed up people yesterday from BC, and they're so sweet.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, but I wouldn't have met them if I didn't do the fit. So it's this balancing act of maybe I just do like two of those like rounds in like April, May, and bring in like maybe three or four new clients from that world, and the rest is going to come from the referrals. Because I think it's nice to always, at least for the people that, like, I feel like the universe finds them, and the people that find me are like, I feel like I can't believe I found you, because I'm kind of probably a bit of a needle in a haystack, right, to find.
Mm.
And so I feel like, yeah, I feel like I'll probably keep doing at least one or two things that are like just to magically bring in the right lovely humans,
How
because
often
it's
do you do
nice. It's
that?
so nice. It's so nice.
How often do you do that, Tracy? The Facebook Live.
Yeah, so the real like the ad and the doing the master class part, which is where I get to like the random new people. I've done two this year so far. And I'm
It's not even
debating.
monthly.
Mm.
It's not even
Why
monthly.
you don't do what about reels? You
I'm
don't?
doing that all the time more. So that's where now I think I'm getting out there more organically. So I'm not doing the paid like ads, um, which seems to get me to a bigger reach. But I'm trying to do more organic. It's nicer because I'm not trying to grow the business. So it's this balancing act. But the lives, I'm only doing like two or three, like where I'm paying to get to new people.
Mm.
And then the Instagram, the reels, I'm doing that. Well, if you see my Instagram, I'm really doing more of that. So
Mhm.
I mean, some of it's cute. I mean, I have a social media girl that helps me, Allie. She's amazing, and she puts me out of my comfort zone a little bit with that.
Mm.
And honestly, it's my stepson that's encouraged me to do the podcast. He's like, Tracy, you got to get out there and do the podcast. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I guess I'll do that. So I
Mm.
think as I do more of this will get me some newbies that will hopefully bring in some beautiful, new, appreciative clients. And I can help them. And then the organic stuff on the social, but it's all got to flow. Like, I don't like to feel like I'm, working too hard. It's got to be like fun.
Mhm. One
But this is,
more. I know there's many one mores, but we attended a very big group before. Like we went to a big conference hall, but at the end of it, we came home with a stack of papers, a booklet, and we didn't do anything about it. I don't think we even finished that booklet. So with you, because you only have a small client base, you have follow-ups. You kind of know that somebody is looking after you to tell you what to do next,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
That book stayed in our basement for a long time. We never opened after.
Because it's not one to one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So with
not.
you, because it's a very small group, you know that you will have to, do the next thing and not leave whatever you learned on the bookshelf.
Yeah. The
yeah,
execution part
Yeah.
is the critical part, right? Like we learn for like 10 years, but we did not execute because we don't
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
doing
capacity to do
that
it.
doing part. That's what I saw in all the programs I took is like people did the programs
It's
and then
all
they didn't
theory,
really,
yeah.
Mm.
Mm,
yeah, it was all theory. Like
mm,
the
mm,
theory is great,
mm,
but to take the step,
mm,
it's actually really hard to do that on your own.
mm.
That's just the reality. I see
Yeah.
it with everybody. Like, I think when you're right there, how many people, if I wasn't there, double checking everything, really like
Mm, mm,
doing that thing
Yes.
to make the offer, to actually make the thing, like to do it is actually really hard to like step off the
mm.
cliff. It is really hard.
Because as
And
soon as we got connected to Nancy, that was it.
Yeah.
It-
yeah.
That's so
Well, and I'm watching the listings, right? And I'm like, okay, let's look at this one. Like, I'm also not making you guys scrub every house. Like,
mm, mm,
yes,
mm,
yeah.
get, you would get, you would get afraid. It's just, I think it's just human nature.
mm,
So that's why I really do know that the VIP component of what I'm doing, the one-on-one and like
mm,
the process is so unique and so different. Because I took the one-on-one coaching with that $17,000 program I took, Canadian, 13,000 US, 17,000, and I paid for like the one-on-one coaching. But then the one-on-one coaching, not that it was bad, but it made me do everything. So it's like go out and interview realtors. Now go out and
Yeah,
start
yeah.
making
There was
offers.
the thing, right? Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of what
Mm.
it's kind of as far as it seems to go. So it's like go out and try to hire a property manager.
How to
Well,
hire a property management? You look
Oh,
for
okay,
this.
I
Yeah,
remember. Yes, yes.
remember. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
right?
What to look for a
So
realtor? What's
yeah.
it?
How much to
right.
pay them is a
So
percentage of
by the
it.
time you actually do that,
Mhm,
well, number one, I'm a salesperson.
mhm, mhm,
I'm used to cold calling. I used to door knock and sell Kirby vacuum cleaners. Like,
mhm.
I'm not afraid of like talking to strangers. But as well, and maybe because you guys had your mom's experience of being such an entrepreneur, but imagine if you're like a shy human.
Mhm,
How scary, and the reality is you're not going to do the work. You're not actually going to make the calls. So what ended up I saw happening in those programs is yes, I would actually maybe try to make the calls and call the realtors. And I will say that's how I learned how to probably hire great property managers from that program, but most people won't even do the work, let alone getting to the actual evaluating the houses or finding the properties. Like there's actually a lot to it. So I just shortcut the whole thing. We're busy. I was busy. Who has time to do that? So you go and you pay for the big, programs, but then no one has time to actually do all the work to build the team and then actually buy the real estate. So for me, I just went, okay, I'm going to be very Tracy about this. I'm super like matter of fact, get to the end goal. The action is what I care about. Yeah, you learn what it is, but do you really need to know how to analyze a house? Really? It's good to know, but do you really need to plug in that spreadsheet when I can do it in about like 10 seconds? Like I take 5 minutes to evaluate a house, right? I'm faster at it, so I'll just do that. Let's just get you to the house. Like the end goal, you want to buy a rental, what's the budget? Let's go shopping. Like let's actually execute on that. So that is the difference. That's why I do it the way I do it. And that's what you guys felt. So yeah, I just wish I could more easily get this message across and find more lovely humans that I can help. That's really it. Like it doesn't need to be hard. It doesn't need to be complicated. People just need to know I'm here. So that's why I'm trying to do more reels. That's why we're doing the podcast. And you guys, I mean, I haven't told you what to say about the program, so you guys are amazing. This is awesome. And you guys did it. I don't know. Thank you. Novi.
1 year and we
so
have
much.
four properties.
We're pushing Emmy, and yeah, we just keep going. We just keep going from here. Slow and steady wins the race, and you actually own the real estate, which is like honestly 90% of I think people's battle where they get stuck. And you own it yourself, and you're going to be in control. And now we can make those decisions to leverage, refinance, buy more, go bigger, go smaller, whatever the scenario is. You've got the monopoly board started.
Yay!
Yeah, you guys are so on your way. And I thank you guys so much for the testimonials, for showing up here today for the podcast. I'm so new at this, so it's a little rough around the edges, but hey, that's also kind of who I am and how I go about this. So it's
No, you're
real.
doing
Yeah,
great.
and for the one person or the people who are watching who might think, "Oh, I'm gonna do it by myself. I can do this. I can just Google and chat GPT everything." I think the amount of money that we paid you, Tracy, for the professional fee is so worth it because you already did the hard part of it of looking for those people, the realtor, the property management, and
Mortgage
the mortgage broker. We're paying you for that expertise and for putting that team, and it's very worth it. We always talk
Oh
about
yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah.
The
Every
fee that
time.
you charge is so worth it.
Every time we talk to you for like an hour or so, we're like,
Good thing we paid, or
yeah,
else we will still be looking at houses and nothing at the end of the day.
yeah.
And I loved it at tax time when I put my fee at the bottom and it like reduces your tax bill. You're like, oh my
Yeah, you can. That's really tax deductible too.
I know, I know, I know, I
It's so
know.
worth
I
it.
It
So
is, for sure. I hope a lot of people would do this, but I'm afraid when you're so busy, Tracy, you'll be like, no, I'm so full for the year. You'll be on the wait list for next year.
well, that's what it is. Like I sit right now, I've got eight spots available for the rest of this year, and that's it. Like
oh.
because I want to be able to give everyone and it's a lot of like research and find like there's like time, effort, and all of that. And plus, I go away in July, right? Every year now
Oh,
for
okay.
9 weeks. So I want to be at the maybe just like the shopping part and the onboarding and property man, like all of that can happen very lovely while I'm, in Croatia, but I don't want to be doing like master classes and those first calls. Like that's a lot of like I really put a lot into those calls and getting to know people and knowing if they should or shouldn't do it. Like, right? Like I'm pretty good at qualifying if you're ready or not or where you're at. So yeah, I mean, 8 more people this year, then it will be a waiting list. Like that's just the reality. I do have thoughts in my head if it got to be where I wasn't doing the sales side, like I wasn't doing like if it was just like someone watches this, sets up the $47 call, Tracy. I'm not really having to convince them. They're like, yeah, I want to sign up. I've watched this, I see it, I've been following for 2 years. Sign me up. then I'm beautiful because I love doing the delivery of my program, right? Like I love doing the budgets and the figuring out where your math is and the whole design plan. Like I can do that all day long. Like that is my jam. Like clearly loving that part of what I do. And then the rest of it is such a machine that I can. And I've had Lisa, right? Um, Help me with some of the delivery, the monthly group coaching calls, and she can, she's onboarded and being trained to help me maybe watch for some listings. Like as you guys could look at listings now and know what a Tracy house is, right?
Yeah.
Like so I can see where I could have my big vision on the business if everything just starts flowing, even like people are coming to me. Obviously, I'm going to want to help. How am I going to turn someone away if they're really ready and they're like, Tracy, please help me? Okay. I've got ways to scale it. So we'll see where we go. But right now I'm like, designing my reality, doing my thing, just looking for those other 8 beautiful humans in Canada that need my help. That's where we're at this year in 2026. So everyone will keep posted, but you guys are so sweet. I love the testimonials and I love the authenticity of explaining the benefits of the program because I can say it what I think is so unique or different, but when it's coming from you guys who've experienced it, it means the world to me. So I thank you guys so much. We continue on our journey and growing our wealth and loving our money.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Designing our realities.
That's right. Travel the world.
Yes.
Exactly, and give back. So you guys are amazing. Have a wonderful rest of your day,
You too.
and we'll chat soon, obviously.
Okay.
Bye. We're over time.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit stop.
Okay.
Okay.